Watching movies and dying inside. Watching movies and dying inside.
Hi there, gang, and welcome back to Watching Movies and Dying Inside. Today we're going to be looking at 1993's The Thief and the Cobbler, co-written and directed by Richard Williams. So if we're going to be watching The Thief and the Cobbler, you're probably wondering, what's all this then? So production on The Thief and the Cobbler began in the 1960s, while Richard Williams worked on other animated projects, including the opening titles in some Pink Panther films, and was a animator and character designer on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And after that came out, he got the go-ahead from Warner Brothers to finally complete The Thief and the Cobbler. However, a couple of years later, Aladdin came out, and he got forced out. So the film then became The Princess and the Cobbler, and it was kind of finished and released in 1993. But you're probably still thinking, what's this then? It got re-edited, redubbed, and re-released in 1995 as Arabian Knight. So in the years since, there has been an effort to restore and recreate the original Richard Williams version of The Thief and the Cobbler to varying degrees of success, because when it was taken away from him, it wasn't finished. So why have the Arabian Knight poster? Honestly, it was the best quality poster for the film I could find, but, you know, it's not probably the most accurate, but you work with what you have. I'm not sure which version of the film I'm going to be watching today. The 1995 release, Arabian Knight, was by Miramax and had a lot more kind of big-name celebrities in it, but I think this is the 1993 version, which would be The Princess and the Cobbler. Hoping that despite being taken away from the guy who worked on it for like a quarter century, it still holds up. But I guess we're just gonna dive on in and hope for the best.
Watching movies and dying inside.
Actually, anything golden.
This animation is really nice. Like, it's deceptively simple because it's kind of basic and character designs are kind of simple and flat and 2D looking. But they're thought of as 3D objects and animated like really fluidly. I really wonder if anyone's tried to recreate or replicate this using like computer models, because that would be interesting to see how close they could get.
But she's more than this. There's a mind in the body of this pretty miss.
If I had to guess, I would think that they added that musical number to this version of the film. The animation got a lot less vibrant and fluid, and also the song was not great. Oh, my stars.
Give it back!
I can see why this film struggled to find an audience, you know, despite being released like twice. It's a visually stunning film, but you kind of have to know how difficult all of this is to achieve. It's remarkable, like moving through a 3D space and then having all of those different perspectives with the checkerboard and the stairs. To do something like that, particularly like without like a digital 3D reference, is unbelievable.
The balls are gone! My kingdom will come to destruction and death!
Okay, that pan away from the city was really impressive, because it's not just a matter of shrinking the character on the animation cell and the background. Like, that shrinking to a level and then switching to a completely different drawing, copying the one that's pulled away from, and then going away from that and replacing that with a different drawing and pulling away from that.
You will never marry her, never!
I just noticed he has like 5 fingers. Like 5 fingers and a thumb. Then again, a lot of cartoon characters only have like 3 fingers and a thumb, so, you know.
We don't know when to return because no one here can read his orders.
We're what happens when you don't finish school. We're what happens when you don't finish school.
Lately things have been so bad there just are no words to tell it.
Okay, so this film is a mixed bag. If it succeeds at all, it's as just a stunning visual masterpiece. I mean, you can see the decades of effort in, you know, most of the film. I'm not dying inside, but it's like you have like a sequence like this that looks amazing and kind of gets my attention, but I'm not sure I'm invested in this story necessarily.
Don't treat me!
There's really not much to say about this film. There were these 3 gold balls that protected the city from invaders, like the one-eyed invaders. And then the thief took them off, and then they were stolen by...
Except for the princess. That we agreed. She is the price.
Vincent Price? Zigzag. They were taken by Zigzag, who is now giving them to the one-eyed guys. So the princess, Yum Yum, Tack, the Cobbler, and those guys with the really bad song about how they're illiterate, went to get help from a witch, and now they're going back to the city. And I guess the invaders are also going to the city. And that's like an hour and change right there, so... I think that's the real takeaway from this film. Visually stunning, terrible songs. So yeah, that was The Thief and the Cobbler, aka The Princess and the Cobbler, aka Arabian Knight. It wouldn't have been awful if there was maybe a little bit more going on, but as it was, I mean, the visuals were really stunning. You can see why this movie has the reputation it does, why it took nearly 30 years to finish, and why it's kind of storied as this incomplete work. But yeah, it was interesting. I'm glad I saw it. I think my only curiosity for seeing the other versions would be to see how much they changed, but then I could probably just find a list with all the changes online somewhere. But yeah, that was The Thief and the Cobbler. Or more accurately, the version I saw, The Princess and the Cobbler.
Bing bong, booly booly bibbly boo. We're what happens when you don't finish school.